I I think Lubbock is very conducive to that. I think the community is very conducive to that. I think the opportunities for learning a musical instrument, for instance, if we're talking about that particular art form, is off the chart here. You have David Brandon, who's one of the finest guitar players literally in the world, has a studio here. We had Sue Grisanti, who was amazing as well. You had Texas Tech. You have South Plains College, which is one of the greatest commercial music programs literally in the country. You've got several other teaching studios. We have School of Rock now. You have all these other teaching studios around. Phenomenal people willing to show you how to do it. And I think because of that, it just kind of helps it grow, if that makes sense. People find out, oh, he plays guitar. Oh, I'll teach you. Let me show you how to do that, and it just explodes. So I think it's just kind of in the nature of our community.
How do you think it impacted Lubbock when everyone found out of Grisanti's passing?
When Susan passed away, it was a huge blow, I think, to all of us in the music community. She had been a staple of this town for, 25 years. She had always played over at Orlando's. She had been around, and Susan. Very few people know she was a very giving individual. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair if it hadn't been for Susan Grisanti. My wife and I had toured in bands for many, many years, and we'd been on the road for about 7 years, and we decided that it was time to have a kid, and that if we were going to have a kid, we probably didn't need to stay on the road. So we got off the road, started going broke, started trying to build towards the next musical endeavor. And there was a dark night in the soul where I almost gave up, where we both almost quit, and I almost said, I'm going to go get a job. I'm going to go, work at McDonald's or whatever it is I have to do, because music was so hard and we were just getting nowhere with it. And out of the blue, I received an envelope, my wife and I did, in our mailbox. And there was a note in it, and it's just basically, it had a scripture, and it said, keep pursuing your dreams. And there was a $5 bill in it. Over the course of the following 2 years, every week we received at least one envelope. Sometimes it was $1. One time it was $100. Always in cash, never addressed, never knew who it was from. Amy and I looked at that first $5 bill and said, somebody believes in us enough to send this to us. We can't quit. We can't. So we started taking the money that we got and we put in a fund for us to do songwriting retreats. And we would take that money, and I would take a little time off from whatever gig I was doing at the time, either recording or doing graphic design or whatever I was doing, or playing guitar, whatever I was doing. And we would go to Colorado and we would write music. And that's how we paid for that. And that led to the band 100 Love Sonnets that I played in town for many years. And a really great and very successful band. 2 years later, we found out that the person who did that was Susan Grisanti. And she did it anonymously. She didn't want anybody to know. But she believed in helping other people pursue their dreams. And I was a beneficiary of her generosity. I benefited greatly from that, and it was one of the most moving things in my life. And I think that happens here in Lubbock, and I think that's an amazing thing.